Hey y'all, we've gotten some messages and I think some of y'all thought you were never gonna see us again. Well, we are back. Thank you to everyone who's checked on Ben. He is actually doing fantastic. It did take him a couple weeks to recover. He had major sinus surgery. It was way more than I was prepared for. And it was rough, but he's recovered, doing awesome, and we are busy. That is just the story of our life right now, is we are super busy. I'm gonna take you guys around. This is probably not gonna be like the most fancily edited video. In fact, I know it's not. I've never made one like that, but why would I start now? But I'm gonna take you guys around, tell you everything that's going on around here, give you some updates, and just catch you guys up. Let's go. Oh yeah, another little life update. You guys already knew Lane is getting married this year in May. Now Emily is getting married too. She's getting married in August, so Ben and I are about to have an empty nest. Both the kiddos get married in the same year. It's pretty cool though. It's actually mine and Ben's 25th anniversary. So for them both to get married 25 years exactly after us, I don't know, just seems pretty cool. She's a smacker. Those two Berkshire sows are about to pop in the next probably month. They're getting big. In fact, they look like they could go way sooner than that, which we're scratching our heads because there's really no way they're bred to go any sooner than that. So I don't know. We'll see. Starting to say, so I'm going to be honest with you guys, but I try to always be honest with you. That's just a saying, and it's offended people in the past, so I won't say that. But I'm gonna be open with you guys, I should say, and real, which I always try to be, but we're not obligated as, you know, video makers, influencers, whatever you want to call it, to share everything. But I'm gonna share this. We were this close to quitting it all in the last few months. One night, the kids were gone, and we have a big sectional couch in our living room. And I don't know if this is like a core memory. I kind of think it is. Like, I kind of think I will hold on to this and look back on it as like a significant moment. But I remember Ben was laying on one part of the couch and I was laying on the other. And for some reason, we didn't even have many lights on. Both the kids were gone. I think Lane still lived here, but I know Emily did. She still does at this point. And we were waiting on her to come home and we were just chatting, and Ben said, just out of the blue, he said, do you want to quit? And I said, like everything? Like the whole deal? He said, yeah. And I said, just to be completely honest with you, I've thought about it lately. And it was like a really, really real moment where we were both like, whoa. I can't believe we're even considering this. But we talked about it, and we talked about it for days about, can we really do this when it's just him and I? Can we really keep going? Can our bodies hold up to this? Is this even good for us? Is this even what we want to do anymore? And we tossed it around, and at that point, we had come out of that snowstorm. And then after that, we had a week of torrential rain, and we were getting stuck all over this farm. We were just rutting up the fields just to try to feed the animals. It was a really, really frustrating time. And I think we were just like, what are we doing? We can't keep this up. We're running the land, and are we even being successful? We were about to pull the trigger on buying the market or building or whatever at that point, and we were like, do we want to spend this much money on something that's going to be a whole lot more work that might not make it, and all those things? That's where we were. I'm just being real with you guys. That's where we were. And we were like, you know what we could do is sell everything and then just raise like feeder steers from spring till fall, buy them in the spring, sell them in the fall, and not have animals in the winter that we're trying to feed, still graze all those and rotationally graze them all summer. And then we would just be basically maintaining our property as well as making any profit on any gain that those animals had. Now it's a risk as well, what we were talking about doing, because if you buy high in the spring and sell low in the fall, you're losing money. So I mean, that could happen sometimes, and does happen sometimes with that, you know, way of doing things. But we were this close to doing it. We were both on the same page. Like, I think our heart's cry was basically, we're tired. And along with that was the realization that our kids are getting married, and eventually they're going to have kids of their own, you know, Lord willing. And we want to be the grandparents that are at everything. Like, we don't want to be stuck here. Not that we don't love this, but we don't want it to take over where we miss important life events for our family, because family's everything when it all comes down to it. People are what it's all about. So that's where we were. So we wrestled that, and we talked, and we wrestled it around some more, and we talked. And I remember making a meat delivery to a market that I sell things to and have, and the guy that owns it is super encouraging. He's helped us build this whole thing because he's bought from us, and all the things as his business has grown, that is, you know, resulted in him buying things from us to put in his business. It's just a cycle, and it's so awesome to see when someone's business grows, others grow as well. And so I met him to take him some meat for his market, and we were talking about this milk that he sells, that he gets from Missouri, and it's lightly pasteurized, which a lot of people don't want completely raw milk. There's a whole crowd that does, but there's a whole crowd that doesn't. And just basically how this milk is so good and sells itself and all these things. And it was just like I felt this peace settle over me. He didn't even know, and I never have told him yet, that how much he encouraged me that day. And he was like, you know what, when you're ready, get a load of this milk and just try it when you get your market up and going. And I was sitting there saying, I don't know if I'm gonna have a market at this point. Can't decide. And then, I don't know, something in me, I'm sure it was the Lord, said, do this and do it now. So I was like, hey, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I want to get a load of this milk next week. Like, I'm gonna try to sell it out of my garage and try to get this going. And I thought, you know, if I commit to this, when I feel led to do it, then I have to do it, and we'll see how this goes. And it took off. The rest is history. Ben and I talked, and about the same time that we were both feeling discouraged, we both started feeling encouraged, and we both started thinking, we're gonna do this. Why would we have built all this to this point to stop now? And so we got on the same page about that. We went forward with it. As you all know, we wound up buying the market building that we're almost finished with, and here we are. So we're not quitting. We're still here, still raising animals, and gonna be. And we just decided, you know, we're gonna make this work. We still wanna be the grandparents that are at everything. We still wanna be there for our kids. But that is a small portion of the time, and I don't want to depend on my kids to be like my entertainment and company the whole other 90% of the time. They're going and making their own families and lives, and I don't want to be a burden to them. I want to have my own things to do, and then, you know, be there for them as well. But they can't be my whole life at this point, because that's not really fair to them, if you know what I mean. So we're going forward with this. This was always, you know, mine and Ben's dream was to do all this and farm and do all this, but maybe we've gotten carried away in some points. But I'm saying all this to say, you guys as well, even if it's not anything to do with farming or animals, it's something totally different. You're gonna experience those times where you're low, where you're tired, where you're second guessing every choice you've ever made, where you're burnt out. You're gonna have those times just like we did. And sometimes the answer is, it is time to quit. It's time to move on to the next job opportunity that's presented itself, or, you know, stop some things because you've done too much. Sometimes though, it's time to just buckle down and wait it out and persevere and know that things are going to get better, that you're just in a rough patch. It's just snowed and rained for 2 weeks and you're just getting stuck, but you're not always going to get stuck. Maybe you're in that point. So I'm just encouraging you guys, whether the answer is quit or hang in there, that we're all in this together. We're all experiencing these times. And the last part of this is, along with that, these last few weeks, putting this market together, which I'm gonna make a whole video on the market for you guys and show it to you. I have not filmed a YouTube video in 2 or 3 weeks now. And I'm an all or nothing type person, I just am. And I told Ben 2 or 3 weeks ago when I skipped the very first one, I said, I've got to skip this week. I just don't have time and I don't have any ideas. My well is dry. I don't have any ideas. I've been filming YouTube videos for 5 years and I have no more new great ideas of what to film for you guys. And so that week went by and then the next week and I thought, still don't know what to film. So just not gonna. And now here we are, I believe we're in week 3. And I went to the Okie Homesteading Festival last week, and that is just what my heart needed. I wound up sitting, we had a supper. I was a speaker, and so we had a supper for the speakers. And I wound up sitting beside Jill from Whispering Willow. Again, she didn't even know she encouraged me. And we weren't even talking necessarily about like going through burnout or getting encouraged, but I just left there encouraged, and I thought, you know what, this is not a community I'm ready to leave. I'm not ready to completely say goodbye to this. I don't know how this channel will look, you know. I don't have any like new crazy ideas that are gonna just reel y'all in, but I found such a community of friends that I'm not ready to walk away. So I'm giving this more effort and gonna try to just bring you guys along and show you what's really going on here on the farm. And yeah, I'm not done. It's not time. I don't feel peace or release to be done with this YouTube channel anytime soon. So we're pressing on, and I'm gonna do better about bringing you guys along again and inviting you into my life. And so if you're still here, thank you. Thanks for sticking around. Y'all are the reason I'm still here. And I have said enough, so we're about to go. We have some really, really, really cute baby calves just born in the last couple days. I'm going to show you guys them. Go check for more. So let's head back to the cows. Before we go see the baby calves, I got to show you some more babies. So we've got all of our chickens separated right now because we're hatching eggs. And we've had our first round hatch, and they are so cute. To see them down in there, but those with the dark stripe on their back are Rhode Island Reds. Gotta get me a drink. And then there's American Breasts. We hatched those. We're still hatching those, and we're not really concerned about if those sell or not. We're gonna raise them if they don't. And let me just tell you guys, those American Breasts are awesome layers. It never fails when I turn this camera on, the loudest vehicles go by. Does that happen to y'all? But there's also Americanas. We had all of those separated so that they are what we say they are. They're in different chicken tractors with their own rooster. Another thing that to consider if you're gonna hatch eggs is how long they need to be with the rooster you want them with and away from other roosters before you hatch, before you start gathering eggs to hatch. There's different opinions. You're gonna find all kinds of timelines online. Thankfully, we did separate ours, but they were already with those roosters, or like the Rhode Island Reds, we just bought them and they came from a farm that's the only chickens they had, and so they'd been with their rooster, and it just worked out perfectly for us. But that's something to think about. Look, how long do they need to be separated and with the rooster that you want them with? Some places online say as much as like a month or more. It's crazy. So That's something to take into consideration if you have all your chickens running together. So we've got the bulls out there right now with the milk cows. We don't want our big herd of cows getting bred right now. We don't want them calving in the dead of winter. You might be like, well, why are they with the milk cows? The milk cows are up here at the house. They could actually go in a stall in the barn, so it's really not going to matter if they calve then. It would actually be fine. But we don't want the cows calving in the winter. So I don't know, I gave you a quick glance. We actually don't have Josie anymore. We wound up selling her. So I only have 2 milk cows. At one time, guys, I was milking 8 milk cows at a time. That's a lot for just one person milking just in their barn that's not set up like a dairy or anything. But I'm down to 2. I have Miracle and Butter. That's the 2 I have. They were my best milkers as far as, I mean, I like them, yes, and they probably actually are my favorite 2 cows, but I had to base it on more than that. Their bags are the best as far as they're easy to milk out, and those are just things that you realize when you start milking cows. They also have 4 good working teats. All right, we're heading back here to check the cows. And I'm sorry there's so much talking and so many stories, but I haven't seen you guys in a while and haven't talked to you. Probably, it's been several weeks ago now. We came back here, we're still putting out hay every day, and I didn't get the right number of cows, but I was switching them back and forth on the fields, and so I didn't think much of it. But then I told Ben, I was like, we've got to get the right number. So I brought him back here with me, and we counted them, and we kept coming up 3 short. And I mean, that can happen when you have a lot like we do, but I just didn't have a good feeling about it. And I said, there's 3 somewhere. We've shut them in the wrong field or something. So we went searching, and it was the most horrible sight, y'all. 3 of our biggest, best, most beautiful cows laid up under a tree, the same tree, and got apparently struck by lightning. And one of them was our South Pole cow, another one was a South Pole heifer, and another one was a heifer about to calve for the first time. And it was pitiful. It was sad. It was just like a gut punch. And with today's prices, just to put it in perspective, there's a chance that a big, good-looking cow could bring, you know, $2,000. And then there's a chance a big, beautiful calf could bring that. So we're talking about, you know, in a perfect world, $12,000. They were all bred. Let's say even if they brought $1,000, we're talking about $6,000. That's a lot of money that could, you know, go towards operating this farm. Or plus I was just sick about it happening. So lost 3 cows. That was a pretty big hit. And then had a calf get sick, and the very first day we noticed it, it was a big calf, like it was like a 6-month-old calf. First day we noticed it, took it up to the house and medicated it. We didn't put it off and like a wait and see. We're like, no, we're gonna get this guy feeling better. And it just kept going downhill. There was nothing else we could give it. We had given it what we could give it. I'm sorry, I'm running a cow up to where she's supposed to go. And wound up having to put him down because it was evident we were gonna have to just put him out of his misery. Had to put him down. Then one of our heifers, and I knew she was about to calve, this was yesterday or the day before, that had never calved before. Y'all actually saw them born on this farm 2 or 3 years ago. And she was about to calve for the first time. She was off by herself. We checked her multiple times that day. And sometimes things just can't be helped. Her calf died. And I know it probably sounds like from the story I told y'all about us thinking about quitting that that's probably why. All that has happened since then, since we decided, no, we're not quitting. We're keeping going. All this has happened since then. Thankfully, it did not happen when we were at that low point considering it, because it might have just pushed us over the edge. And we obviously are calving right now, like I told you, and I'm missing one. right now. So we're not leaving until we find her. Because I see all the calves. That tells me I'm missing a big one. And I was gonna say that's not good, but I mean, it could be fine. She could just be up calving somewhere. I found her. It's the one that lost her baby, and she's standing down here beside where it was. So that pen I just showed you is our like feeder calves, meaning that's the ones that we're going to process over the next however long it is till they're big enough and all the things. So there's 45 in there. We're going to take about 11 of them out and put with the cows. I'm going to take you in here with the cows right now. They're heifers that we want to keep in the herd. Our numbers have gotten really low. We have 33 cows in this group right now. We have processed into grass-fed ground beef all of our older cows. Pretty much all we have left are ones that we want. There's a couple in here that we don't want, that we bought at the sale barn, and one is just absolutely crazy every time she has a calf, like gonna kill somebody, so she's not staying. There's another one that she's just kind of poor. Probably not gonna keep her either. Other than that, we pretty much have a good looking herd. We have South Poles. We have like more Angus, which do way better at the sale, so we want some of both. Just pretty happy with our herd right now. The only thing is our numbers are super low. You can see this group of cows, probably one of the smallest looking groups y'all have seen since we bought our big herd in 2019, but we've whittled down to kind of what we want. So we're going to take 11 out of that group of 45 and put in here. So that'll give us, what is that, 44, you know, producing mamas for the time being. And then even if we keep half of those each year, or say 10 of those for the next few years, you know, we'll go up by 10, obviously, every year. So we'll be right back up there in no time. In 2 or 3 years, we'll be up to, you know, 75 mamas or so again. So, and that's a pretty good number for us rotating here on these pastures and being able to cut enough hay and all the things. We actually took the calves that were from the fall off the mamas the other day and took them straight to the sale. It eliminated work for us right now because we did not have to work them and ban them and vaccinate them for blackleg, and then spend the time making sure they get weaned and finding somewhere to go with them and all that. Did a couple things for us. It eliminated some work. Secondly, it generated some income because this market is very expensive. Very expensive. We're just trying to generate some funds, to be honest with you. And then we're in the debate right now, not dilemma, we're in a thought process. These 45 up here, we're thinking about, do we need to sell about 15 more of them? But I already told you we're taking 11 of them and putting out here with cows, so that leaves 34. And then if we sell, say 14, that only leaves 20. So that's 20. And just to put it in perspective, our next ones after those are grown out, that would be, you know, butcher ready, are being born right now. So it's gonna be probably 2 years before those are ready. So if we take ourselves down to 20, those 20 have to last, say, 24 months. That's not even one a month, and we're building a market. So just don't know. If we keep them all, then we have 34 to last us, say, 24 months. So we almost have enough to do, like, what is that? Almost 1.5 a month. So every 2 months, take 3 to the processor. I'm doing this math on the fly. I think that works out. So that's where we are. Do we get some quick cash to pay for this? Or do we try to figure something out and hold on to all these so we have more to process? It's always a dilemma juggling funds around when you're trying to build up a business like this. If I can get you guys close enough, I want to show you these baby calves before we sign off here. I feel like I've just rambled to you guys and told you everything that's going on in our life. But if you're still here, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for spending time with me and listening and caring. I needed this. I needed to share all the things with you guys because I feel like I've been kind of silent for a few weeks, and it's just weird to me because it's been a long time since I've went this long without making a video. It's just kind of part of my life now, and it was just weird not doing it. And everyone's gonna take off with their babies. I'm gonna see if I can get y'all close enough. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you so much. Maybe the next one you see will be the market. I don't know. We're still several work days away from that, so we'll see. Love you guys. God bless. That's the crazy one. Y'all are nice though, huh?